Welcome to the Nightmare on Elm Street live stream. Um, sorry guys, I'm trying to figure out. I think I got everything set right now. Or, Um, so yeah, welcome to the Nightmare on Elm Street um, stream. I wait for some people to come in. Just talk about again the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Um, So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. Just thought about doing it last night because I did a Child's Play live stream, and I wanted to do a Nightmare on Elm Street live stream today. So and then tomorrow I'll be doing a Friday the 13th again. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. Let's talk about the franchise overall. Talk about this all the movies in general, like what we think about them. Doesn't matter, but got to stick to Nightmare on Elm Street. We can't talk about nothing else. Um, so that's basically what we're going to be doing in this stream tonight. So I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here. Hopefully, we get somebody in here. Eventually. Usually somebody comes in like later in the stream, but um, so yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about obviously the franchise, overall, and I just want to talk about like the box set, okay, that I got. It doesn't look as good, and I've talked about that many times. That it doesn't look as great, personally. It's an okay box set. It doesn't look all that great, to be honest with you. Um, and I talked about like Screen Factory, like how that Halloween and the Friday the 13th, they always get the best, like they always get like the best treatment, for some reason. You know, I don't know what it is, like why they get the best treatment for, but I always feel like they always get the best like treatment. Like everybody, they always get the better box sets, and I think that's probably because they're. I don't know why, honestly. Maybe because they're the one of the bigger franchises. I don't know, but I feel like the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as a whole, like just the box set doesn't look as great. Doesn't look as great in my opinion. They could have did a lot better with it. Personally, um, that's just my personal opinion on that. But yeah, I feel like the design and whatnot, the designs on it don't look as great to me. I mean, it's not really. It doesn't look all that great. That's just my honest opinion on that. Like to me, it doesn't look great. To me, it doesn't look like a box set that I would necessarily. It doesn't look like a box set that I um would enjoy. Like it just doesn't look good. Is what I'm saying. Like if you compare it to the Friday the 13th box set, I mean, it doesn't look all that great personally. It just doesn't. Um, it just I don't know. It just doesn't look that great personally. Um, so that's just my honest opinion on it. I mean, Scream Factory, they just do a good job with their box sets. Like I've always loved their box sets. They just do such a great job. And I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street deserves a lot. It deserves a lot better treatment than what it gets. Um, it's a pretty good franchise. And again, maybe I don't like it as much as Scream or Friday the 13th or Halloween, but I do like it. Again, it's definitely my top five. Um, and I do have the box set again, and I just think that Scream Factory needs to jump on it, and try to make another one because I just feel like the box set that I have, it just doesn't look that great. It just doesn't. I mean, I feel like there's a lot better box sets out, like the Friday the 13th franchise. Always that's a nice one. I got that at Walmart or at Amazon, excuse me. Um, the Halloween one, I got that. I didn't get a chance to get that because it was sold out. So, but I do got all the movies. They're all like separate, but I do got all the movies. So I'm kind of upset about that, but at least I got all the movies. But I talked about this in my stream last night, about the whole box set situation, like how I feel about it. I just don't think, I just don't personally think that they do a good job with the box sets. They just don't do a good job, in my opinion, you know, like with some of the other, franchises that deserve it. I just don't feel like they do a good job. So I just feel like it needs to get a better treatment. The franchise is good overall, Um, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is it's a great franchise. There is some bad movies, and of course, towards like the fourth film, it kind of got a little cheesy. But I think my favorite one's obviously the first one. That's always going to be my all time favorite. But I think the second one, a lot of people give the second one a lot of crap, but honestly, I think the second one's pretty good. Um, it's pretty underrated. It may be a little weird at times, but I personally don't mind it. Um, then the Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3 is pretty damn good as well. Um, the fourth one, it's kind of it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty decent as well. And I think the fifth was when people started like, people just didn't really like it as much toward when going into the fifth. It just I guess it got kind of weird for some people, but personally, I think it's a good franchise overall. Um, obviously you got Freddy versus Jason, obviously, which that's a classic to me. Even though I didn't like the fact that Kane Hodder wasn't in it, to play Jason, but um. So and then the remake, I think the remake Nightmare on Elm Street is probably the worst in the franchise, in my opinion, just because the actor in it. Um, but yeah, so that's just my opinion on it. I just think that people, I think that people just hate it just for some odd reason, and it may be just because, and I hate it, like. Okay, so the remake, I think I'm talking about the remake. Right? Yeah, I'm talking about the remake. So the remake somehow, I don't know why. It's just something about it that I don't like. Just the voice actor or the actor who played, Freddy, I just didn't care for. Um, so yeah, I just don't like the remake at all. But I really hope that they do make a TV series out of this because I do know that this franchise, a lot of people, love it a lot, and everybody wants it back. Everybody wants it to come back. Um, but as you guys know, it's been dealing with some lawsuits as well. It's been dealing with a lot of lawsuits, a lot of legal issues, I guess, right now. Kind of like the Friday the 13th franchise, which is kind of weird. Um, so yeah, it's definitely it's facing a lot of issues. It's facing a lot of legal issues right now. I believe. I'm not 100% if it's done yet, but I heard that it was going through the same thing as the Friday the 13th franchise, which I kind of figured that it was because I just kind of figured we haven't had a Nightmare on Elm Street since 2010, so I just kind of figured that there was something going on with it, like with the rights. So that's unfortunate, of course. And I have my theory, about if they do make another one, like will Robert England come back? That's the main question. Will Robert England come back? Well, I don't really know. I mean that's just the main question right now. Like I don't really think that he. It depends, right? I guess because his age now, he's not young no more. Um, so I guess it kind of depends at this point. We don't really know 100% if he will come back or not because his age. But I've been saying this for a while that I would love him back to play Freddy Krueger again because there's nobody else that could do it better than him. He originated it, so he's the one that he's like the original. So I mean, you can't really have anybody else do it better than him. Um, but unfortunately, there is going to be a day where we will have to rely on other people, other actors. Sadly, because again, he's getting age now. He's older now. He's not going to probably be able to do as much as he used to when he was younger. So I mean that's going to take a toll on him. So I don't really know if he will come back, but it's just a theory at this point. Like a lot of people don't know if he's going to come back for sure. A lot of people are just saying that he might come back, he may not come back. Who really knows? I mean, at this point, it is just a rumor. So I don't really know like what to really think, what else to think about like the whole franchise is like I just want to see it back because again we haven't had it since 2010, and the last time Robert England even played Freddy was in Freddy vs. Jason, which that was like in 2003. So yeah, I just want to see it back. I really want to see Robert England back, but I mean his age, of course he's older now, and of course if he's not able to do it, I'm not going to blame him. I'm not going to put blame on him at all because I totally understand, because his age has taken a toll on him. So I mean, I wouldn't. It's just kind of like there's really no other. A lot of people were saying that like Matthew Lillard or whatever would be a good Freddy Krueger. Like I think so as well, but man, there's like Robert Englund. I just want him to, guys. I just want him back so bad, man. Like Robert Englund is the best, in my opinion. Like he's the best because he's the first one to start, playing Freddy, and so yeah, I mean he's always going to be the best. So I just, man, it's unfortunate, but again, I guess it is what it is, right? Um. So and then there's other rumors out there about. There is rumors about another film coming out. There's actually a couple of rumors. There's a rumor about the TV series coming. Okay. This was my idea, right? If they didn't do a like a movie or anything, I think a TV series would be the way to go personally because TV series is, I guess it's better than a movie. It is better than a movie in my opinion. well, it's not better than a movie necessarily. Everybody wants a movie more. So sorry for sorry for saying that. I meant TV series is not better than an actual movie, but a TV series is still, I guess, in a way, like bringing the franchise back in a way, still, even though it's not a real movie. Um, no, I mean, a lot of people were saying that they may make a TV series and all that stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all because again, I mean, there Nightmare on Elm Street seems like it's a perfect franchise for that to make a TV series. Because I mean, they're doing it with other franchises. They did it with Scream. They did it with Chucky. You know, they're doing it with Candyman. So I mean, I just wouldn't be surprised if they decided to. And I was even talking about the Halloween franchise, which I don't want to get too much off topic, but the Halloween franchise is also doing the same thing. Like, I think it's gonna do the same thing eventually. After after the movies are officially like after they're done making the movies, like I don't think they're gonna ever be done making the movies, but there's gonna come a point in time where they do make a TV series. So I do think that they will make a TV series, a Nightmare on Elm Street TV series. Of like even if they don't make a movie, because look, they're doing the same thing with Friday the 13th right now. Um, Friday the 13th is coming back, but it's only a TV series that they're doing. It's not a movie or anything like that. Which I've been saying that a movie would be great, but as of right now, it's a TV series, which I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know if they are going to make them. I have a feeling they're probably going to make a movie eventually, but so that's why I think Nightmare on Elm Street would, if they don't make a movie, it's definitely going to be a TV series because again, this movie has been like we have not had this film since 2010, like, and a lot of people want it back. A lot of people's been wanting it back for over 10 years now. Like I think it's been over that now. Like I think it's been. Let me count. So 1 minute. So it's 2023 right now. So let me take a look real fast how long it has been. It's been over 10 years. I know that for a fact because it came out in 2010. So 1, 2, 3, 13 years. So we've been 13 years without a Nightmare on Elm Street film. 13. 13, guys. Like that's a long time if you really think about it. I think that's a long time. Because again, if you really think about it, right, like 13 years without a franchise, like that's a pretty long time without having, a movie like or so. And Friday the 13th was in the same situation, like because Friday the 13th was last came out in 2009, and then the lawsuit happened, which it lasted all this long. It lasted this long. Well, I don't think there was a lawsuit during that time or after that. I think the lawsuit started in around like 2020, I believe. So it took a couple years for the lawsuit to be over, I believe. So it was just like, man, it just took a while. Now we're getting a TV series of that. So, but yeah, I definitely think that they will make a Nightmare on Elm Street again. It's just a matter of like when. A lot of people just don't really know like when they're gonna make another one, but I have a feeling that they are gonna make another one. I have a feeling that it maybe I just don't know how long yet. I mean, a lot of people at this point are just speculating, but I don't know how long it's gonna be. I really don't know how long we're gonna have to wait, but it may have to be a little bit longer. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look up like at the lawsuit because I do know that there was a lawsuit going on with it. So I don't know how long that has been going on for. But so what happened was so Halloween throwback when Freddy Krueger sued Will Smith over a music video. So back in 1988, when DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince released a Nightmare on My Elm Street or a Nightmare on My Street song was an immediate hit. A Nightmare on Elm Street 4 was set for release a few months later, and the song, which made obvious allusions to Freddy Krueger from beginning to end, eventually climbed to number 15 on the Hot 100. Now I have a story that I'd like to tell about this guy. You all know. You all know him. He had me scared as hell. Rap the Fresh Prince, who later became better known as his real name, Will Smith. He comes to me at night after I crawl into bed. He's burnt up like a weenie, and his name is Fred. Just one problem, New Line Cinema, the owners. Okay, that's basically what Will Smith said in the song. Just one a problem, New Line Cinema, owners of a Nightmare on Elm Street franchise had already commissioned their own officially licensed Freddy Krueger rap track, Are You Ready for Freddy? By the Fat Boys and more. Importantly, they had specifically rejected DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's version. Like a so that's what happened. So what's the origin story of this legal monster? According to legal filings from the case, New Line started thinking about commissioning a licensed hip hop theme song for Elm Street 4. Eventually, they settled on the Fat Boys, a pioneered rap trio who had released their breakout Crushing earlier that year in March 1988. The group released Are You Ready for Freddy on their third studio album, Coming Back Hard Again. Behind the scenes, an executive at Jive had been doing his best to convince New Line Cinema to use a theme song by DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince instead of the Fat Boys, according to legal filings. Smith and Towns recorded My Street in late 1987, and then Jive sent a copy of the track to the movie studio for consideration. Negotiations dragged on for months, but never accumulated in a licensing deal. In April, Jive released the song anyway, including it on DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince's album. He's the DJ. I'm the rapper. The song told the story of a duo encountering the same haunting scenario as the movies, where Krueger kills people in real life by murdering his victims in their dreams. According to legal filings, as the August premiere of the movie got closer, Jive continued to try to get New Line Cinema to change its mind about licensing the song for the movie, including suggesting that MTV was already interested in doing a music video for My Street, but the studio ultimately reached an official agreement with the Hot Boys to make their own licensed video for their song. In July, New Line sent a cause and desist to Jive and the owner of Zamba Music, warning that the Fresh Prince song amounted to copyright infraction or infringement, um, and demanding that the record be pulled um, from store shelves. Weeks later, New Line headed to court accusing the Jive Zamba and the duo of a wide range of legal wrongdoing. Then in August, they went into overdrive after learning that Zamba had produced a music video for My Street and were planning to release it on MTV, demanding a preliminary injunction to block the video's premiere. In late August, a federal judge sided defensively with New Line Cinema. He ruled that he planned music video likely infringed the studio's copyrights, citing the overwhelming similarities between them. And he rejected their argument that the video amounted to a legal fair use, saying it was instead simply an on authority. Sorry, I can't say that for some reason. Unauthorized, I say, competitor that was unfairly free riding on New Line's massive promotional campaign. The video exists solely as a vehicle to promote Zambo's song. The judge wrote, issuing the injunction banning the release of the video. Thus, Zamba stands to profit financially by using Freddie without making the usual licensing arrangements, which in fact were made by the Fat Boys before they produced their video. Unlike the best horror franchise, there was no sequel to this legal fight. The case could have continued onto more um, litigation over the ultimate merits of the case. But after New Line won the injunction, the lawsuit quickly ended on a confidential settlement. The video um, was never released, and albums featured a sticker disclosing that the song was not affiliated with the movie. But don't forget, the killer is never quite dead. A version of A Nightmare on My Street is currently available on YouTube, where it now has 2.8 million views. Pretty interesting. So that's basically why Nightmare on Elm Street right now is undergoing basically a legal battle at this point. Because that song that Will Smith, I think, did. Um, and I think I remember hearing about that. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Will there be another? Will there be another Nightmare So, however, there is an Elm Street film just around the corner. Dylan's New Nightmare 2023 is a direct sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, the seventh installment in the series, and the only one to take place outside the films, as it's set in a version of our world. Oh, really? So there is another movie out, or is this fake? Yeah, sadly, so I guess it appears to look like uh, it appears to look like that Robert Englund will not be reprising his role. So that's what it looks like right now. So wait, so there is a film coming out? Really? Like legit? Wow. I was just talking about how I don't know when there's gonna be another one. But yeah, maybe I was tripping a little bit. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, releasing in 2024. Oh wow. I never realized that. And it says that Robert England sadly isn't going to be reprising his role because he is older now and he doesn't um I guess he's basically, so what it looks like right now, it looks like a he's basically not going to be in the film because of his age. He basically said he's too old and thick to play Freddy now. He just can't do it, he said, because his back and his arthritis. So yeah, I kind of figured that, you know. Oh, how's it going, Scott Walker? I'm not really a fan of that, man. Yeah, I know, man, but I just wanted to do something new, and plus, I don't really do, and I'm not really a fan of it either. To be honest with you, I just wanted to. I'm not really a fan of ghost movies either. I'm not a fan of paranormal either. I'm more of a fan of Scream and Halloween, but I do want to do something new on the channel, so I don't really talk about like other, separate movies, So, and yeah, I'm not a fan of either movie either. Like I'm not like a fan of it either, but again, it's something new. And I don't really talk about it as much. Like, but tomorrow's stream we're going to be talking about Friday the 13th, so that should be a lot of fun. Um, so yeah, I was also saying, I'm not a fan of, I'm not a fan of Freddy either, like that personally. You know, the movies just ain't for me, like you were saying. So, I mean, I totally get it, and it's just because I don't know, it's just a little weird. But I just wanted to do something new on the channel because it is in my top five for sure. It is in my top five. But I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm like a diehard of it though. Like, What will it be like if they brought Michael Myers into Nightmare on Elm Street movie crossover? Will they team up and fight? Oh yeah, I think they will fight. I think they'll also team up because if you remember in Freddy vs. Jason, they basically teamed up with each other throughout the film. So um, I definitely think that they will team up partially, but then they'll fight each other. Um, I think Freddy and Jason, I think they, if I remember correctly, I think they did team up with each other for a little bit in that film. Um, Maybe not though. I don't quite remember, but I do know that they fought a lot. Like, so I don't know. Maybe they will team up. Maybe they won't, because again, that's what they do. They fight each other. But yeah, I totally get it. Like, I'm not a diehard fan of this franchise either. To be honest with you, like, but I'm doing it because it's something different. I do like the franchise, even though it's not my all-time favorite. I still like it. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things that where you maybe there's a lot of movies I don't like at all. Like they're like the Leprechaun. You know, like I don't like the Leprechaun. I don't even like the Exorcist. Shoot, I don't even like. I don't even really like Paranormal Activity. Really, I mean I like it, but I'm not like a huge fan of it. You know what I mean? I'm not a huge fan of possession films, but again, it's something. This is like a little different. This is like a slasher, and I don't really talk about this franchise a lot. So even if I don't like it as much, I still want to do. I still want to do something different. Um, because again, I don't talk about it as much. I don't really talk about Leatherface either. You know, but tomorrow I'll be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise again. We'll have that discussion on tomorrow. But I just wanted to do something new tonight because I was just thinking because I talked about Halloween many times. I talked about Scream many times, but there's only a few that I haven't talked about, and that's the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise and also the Leprechaun franchise, which I probably won't even get into the Leprechaun franchise personally because that's not in my top five personally. It just isn't. But I just don't really care for that film. I just find him to be a little weird, to be honest. You know, just like I just do. Like again, people like what they like. Again, like okay, and another one that I don't like really is probably Hellraiser. Like Hellraiser, okay, I don't like Hellraiser at all. Like that's not in my top five whatsoever. It's never been for me. It's never been my type of film. For some odd reason, it just hasn't. That's never been my type. But I do, however, like the fact that I mean I do like that. I mean he looks more. I think Hellraiser looks more like a. He looks more like a Star Wars character more than anything, in my honest opinion. like I said, if they did bring Michael Myers into Nightmare on Elm Street, I would love to see Freddy possess Michael to see why he's evil, why he killed his sister Judith. Do you think that is cool? Yeah, I think that would be cool because again, yeah, I want to see more crossovers. That's all I want to see, and a lot of people again don't want to see a lot of them because for some reason. Um, Maybe it's just because they just feel like they're kind of like I don't really know why because I find it to be entertaining personally to see two horror icons basically fighting each other in one film. Like I just love it. Like that Freddy vs. Jason movie after that skyrocketed, did pretty good in the box office. Everyone wanted to see more. Everybody wanted to see another crossover similar to that because it's fun, and to watch two. I mean, come on, two horror icons fighting each other in a movie. How is that not fun? You know, I find that to be extremely entertaining, especially if they were to do um like a Jason versus Ash versus Freddy, which they were supposed to do that originally. So they were gonna do Jason versus Ash versus Freddy. They were gonna do like a triple threat, like all three. Um, they're basically all three gonna fight each other. Which that was actually in a comic book. They had written that in a comic book. So thought it was gonna happen, but it didn't. It didn't happen, sadly. Which I understand because I just feel like it wouldn't have made it. I don't think it would have made sense personally. I personally don't think it would have made sense because again, when you really think about it, if you really really think about it, if the story doesn't make sense, then don't do it. That's what I always say. If the story doesn't make sense, just don't do it because you're risking basically a movie that doesn't. You're basically putting. You're basically having them in. Well, I guess if they had them in a comic book fighting each other already, okay, then I guess that would have made sense. I'm just talking about like, let's just say they didn't have a comic book or anything, or they didn't have anything to like a build up for it. Well, what sense does it make for them to add Ash into that? Because again, Jason and Freddy had a build up. Freddy was in Jason Goes to Hell, which he grabbed, Jason's mask. So therefore, like he grabbed Jason's mask, and that's basically a build up. And then it took like at least like 10 years for us to get, a Freddy versus Jason movie, but we eventually did, um, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, I definitely think that it's definitely a lot of people want to see more. A lot of people want to just see more. They want to see more crossovers because again, they're a lot of fun. I think they're a lot of fun. A lot of other people feel like they're a lot of like. It's just entertaining. We don't want to. It's not as fun as seeing one killer kill somebody. It's kind of fun to see like two killers fighting each other. I feel like that's entertaining. So we definitely need more of them. Um, there was rumors about a Freddy versus Jason Part 2 that was supposed to. I guess they were supposed to make it. So, but sadly they didn't. Or there was rumors about it that people were wanting it because, again, they wanted to see more because they don't think Freddy died, which I don't either. I don't think Freddy died personally. So therefore, everybody wanted a part two, wanted to see a part two of the fight. So yeah, I mean, I understand that. I totally get it because again, yeah, he didn't die, and it makes a lot of sense for them to do that. Um, I would love to see a Halloween crossover. Yeah, yeah, that would be awesome. But yeah, it's definitely a. So let's talk about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, like because again, I don't really talk about it as much. So there is about I think 10 movies, I believe, in the franchise. I believe at least like 10. Um, so yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a bit of films, but I think the most underrated one that I completely like is probably I would say Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 because a lot of people just don't like it because they think there's kind of like weird moments in it, which like kind of like gay moments. Sorry for saying that, but which I kind of understand. Like a lot of people feel like it's a little silly in a way, but honestly, I really like that film. It was I think it was a really good film. Um, definitely underrated in my opinion. Definitely not. Man, I'm not sitting here saying that it was perfect because it wasn't, but I feel like it was great. You know, definitely underrated in my opinion. A lot of people don't give it love that it deserves. I just feel like personally, it's the most underrated, without a doubt, the most underrated film in cinema. One of the most underrated. Like, if you're talking about horror movies, that's one of them. Just like, Halloween Resurrection. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people didn't like, um, a lot of people don't like Scream 2 either. Scream 2 is probably one of the best sequels, in my opinion. And a lot of people hate on Nightmare on Elm Street 2 as well for some reason, but I think it's a pretty good sequel. And of course, a lot of people are going to say, of course, I'm going to say the original is better than the second one, but because it is, but I don't know. The second one is pretty good, personally, I think. The third one, I don't really, the third one's pretty good as well, I would say. I mean, the third one is not terrible. I don't think it's bad at all. Uh, not bad at all. I think it's a pretty good film, personally. But yeah, the first one is obviously the best. The original is always going to be the best of the best. So I mean, nobody can really deny that. Why do you think they did a sequel to Freddy, Jason, Edward, and Man a lot more sense if they did a sequel to Jason versus Michael? Yeah, they should have did that, and they obviously didn't do a sequel to Freddy versus Jason, but they were going to. I think they were thinking about doing a part two to Freddy versus Jason because people feel like Freddy didn't die, which I don't think he died either. Obviously, he was still moving his eyes and all that after even he got his head chopped off. I mean, so he was still alive. So a lot of people feel like they should have got a rematch because again he didn't die. So therefore there should have been a part two, which I understand. I would have loved to see a part two. But if they did a part two, I think that Freddy would definitely win. In the second time because if Jason won the first battle, Freddy is definitely more than likely would win the second battle. If they squared off again, because there's just no way that I see Jason beating Freddy twice in a row, and Freddy not getting not beating him. So I think Freddy would definitely beat him the second time if they face personally. If they do a Friday the 13th remake, I would like to see Kevin Bacon as Freddy. Oh, dude, that would be awesome as well. What about Matthew Lillard as well? Because I was talking about, Matthew Lillard could also play Freddy as well, which I think he would be a perfect actor to play Freddy. Um, but yeah, man, I just don't know. Like a lot of people just like it made a lot of sense for Freddy and Jason to fight each other because again they had a build up. They said that Freddy was basically the reason why Jason drowned and all that. That Jason, that Freddy was the one that was drowning Jason or whatever, which makes a lot of sense. And it showed that in Freddy vs. Jason, they had like flashback scenes and whatnot. So that's basically them building that up. So they did a good job. So that makes a lot of sense. When you build something up and then you think about doing it, that's when it makes the most sense. You know? That's when it makes the most sense. Personally. Because again, you don't do a build up, you don't have a build up towards it or anything like that. What sense would that make? I mean, that wouldn't make any sense in my opinion. So I personally think it makes a lot of sense I think that makes a hell of a lot of sense when you build up towards it because then people won't say, oh well then that people won't say that it didn't make sense. Because if they like this Leprechaun versus Chucky, right? Which I don't want to get too much off topic. But there was rumors that they were gonna fight each other. What sense would that have made if they didn't build up? And maybe that's why people have a problem with crossovers because they don't really build up to it, which I completely understand, I guess. But I just want to see a crossover where they fight each other. I want to see a movie where all the icons fight each other all at once. I want to see something like that, because again, we don't see enough of it. We just don't. Right? I know there's not really any build up. A lot of people don't have any build up, for it to make sense. But it's just I just feel like it's just something that everyone likes. It's entertainment. Everyone likes to see a fight, between, two heavyweights. You know, it, it's entertaining. Just like the Leprechaun, people like the Leprechaun and Chucky. People want that, but sadly, well, okay, this is the official rumor. So they were supposed to make the Leprechaun and Chucky film, I thought, but then I had heard that they were going to do a Freddy Krueger and Chucky film where Chucky, they were going to call it Child's Play on Elm Street, supposedly. And basically, Chucky was going to be like owned. Somebody was going to own like a good guy doll. Basically, a person that lived on Elm Street was going to own a good guy doll or whatever. And they were going to do that crossover, supposedly. I actually read an article about it, which was kind of weird. I didn't think that they would do a Chucky and Freddy Krueger crossover like that, but that was a little weird because I've never heard of anything like that. Didn't hear anything about that. The only thing I heard was that they were going to do a Leprechaun and Chucky film. So, I mean, it was kind of surprising. It was surprising to me that they decided to do that. That they were gonna, well, they didn't decide to do that, but they were gonna try to do that. Like, basically, somebody on a resident on Elm Street was gonna own a good guy doll. Which, man, that would have been interesting, though. Which Ghostface would you like to see in a crossover movie? I really don't want to see Ghostface in a crossover just because Ghostface would lose easy. Because he's a real human. He's not like us. Or he's not like Freddy, excuse me. He's a real human like us. It's a real human wearing a costume, basically. Unlike, Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers. They're all just one person. They can't die. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's kind of hard for me to see Ghostface, compete with any of these guys. I don't think he can. I don't think that he can compete with Freddy. I don't think he can compete with Jason, obviously, because again, he's a real human, and unfortunately, he'll die. He could die easily, unless he had some kind of like robe where he can't really take damage. I mean, that's really the only way. But other than that, he's a real human like us. He could die super easily. He's not like Freddy. He's not like Jason. He's not like Michael Myers. Because again, he's played by multiple people. You get different killers in every movie. So it's kind of just like, hey, like, okay, this for instance, like Michael Myers, you basically know he's the killer. Freddy Krueger, he's the killer. Jason, he's the killer as well, because they're all one person. But Ghostface is played by multiple people. So that's why it would be hard for me to see him battle or see him in a crossover film, because he would lose probably within like 2 minutes. Because again, he's a real human like us. It's somebody like a human like us that's wearing a mask. So that's a little different. Compared to being somebody different, like like Freddy, like Jason, like Michael Myers. So I do think that, unfortunately, as a Scream fan, Ghostface, would get absolutely destroyed by Michael Myers and Jason, and even Freddy, even probably Chucky, because again, they can't die. But that's what makes Scream, which I don't want to get too much off topic, but that's what makes Scream So that's what makes Scream so. That's why Scream is so loved. It's because it's more humanly. It's not like Friday. It's not like Nightmare. It's not like Friday the 13th or like Michael or like Halloween or anything. So it's a little different, which I like because it makes it more realistic. You know. But yeah, sadly, I think I truly do think that Ghostface would get destroyed by any person, anyone, unless Ghostface was facing somebody like another human. What's to say he was facing like Hannibal Lecter or something like that? Okay, well maybe he could beat him. Who really knows? But he can't beat somebody like Freddy. He can't beat nobody like Jason, nor Michael Myers, because again, he's a real human. Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, they're all like other like Jason. Freddy's a demon. Jason's a zombie. Um, Michael Myers is just a person is evil, like, and he can't die. He basically has been like cursed, so that's why he doesn't die. Basically, is what I'm saying. So it's a little different. That's sadly, but I think like if Ghostface were to fight somebody, he would be able to fight like somebody like the Collector or something like that because the Collector is more humanly. So I had to say this about Matthew Lillard about by all of the horror movies he has been in. Friday Night at Freddy's, Scream thing. These films are the best movies he's done in Scooby. Yeah, for sure, 100%. And yeah, I would really be interested if he played Freddy. You know, um, because I really do think that he would be a good Freddy Krueger personally. Um, because again, it's sad that Robert Englund won't be doing these movies no more. Sadly, because of he just won't be doing them no more because of his back. He's got a bad back now. And he's not gonna do them. Sadly, no more. Um, and he said that he's got arthritis and whatnot as well. So that also plays a factor. He's not going to be able to do any stunts or anything because his bad back and his bad like feet, arthritis and whatnot because of age. Like, so I mean, I understand. I totally get it. But you got to do what you got to do. You can't when you get to that age, you basically your body can't sustain for long, and you basically when you get to that age, you're going to deal with a lot of that. Won't be able to do as much as you used to when you're younger. So can't sucks, but hey, it. I guess that's what happens, right? But yeah, I talked about Matthew Lillard, playing Freddie, how he would be. a good fit for Freddy. You know, I really do believe it. I believe that I truly believe he's a good fit for Freddy. Um, it just won't be the same no more. It's kind of like, okay, it's kind of similar to the Pennywise films. When Pennywise was, or the first Pennywise, right, was played by Tim Curry. Well, Tim Curry now is like older now. He can't walk. He can't do anything no more like he used to when he was, younger. But now, since he's like in a wheelchair and all that, he can't do stunts or anything because of his age now. And plus, he's in a wheelchair. And I don't exactly know why he's in a wheelchair. I don't know what happened, but he played the original Pennywise. And I wanted to see him back. I really wanted to see him, play Pennywise again. But sadly, we'll never see that because, he's in a wheelchair and he can't do that kind of stuff no more. So it's unfortunate. But I always, and not to get off topic again, but I always pick the original, Pennywise over the remake, because the remake, I feel like is just not as good as the original, in my opinion. But anyway, that's what I'm kind of comparing it to. Kind of comparing, the Robert Englund situation to that situation, because I feel like Tim Curry is the best like Pennywise, and Robert Englund's the best like Freddy Krueger. So it's kind of like, it kind of sucks that we have to move off. That the original, the person that basically started playing that role, we won't be able to have him. Like, it's a little different because obviously Robert Englund did like 10 films. So, and Tim Curry only did like one Pennywise film. So, I mean, I guess it's a little different. So, I mean, if they would have did something to where they did like maybe like a second Pennywise film or something, then basically that would have been different. They would have did like a franchise kind of similar to Nightmare on Elm Street, but they sadly didn't do that back in the day. They only did one film. Sadly, but so yeah, he only got to do stunts. He only got to do, one film, and now he's like older, and now he can't do what he used to do. So regardless of who plays Pennywise, regardless of who plays Freddy, Robert Englund's always going to be the best. Tim Curry is always going to be the best at playing Pennywise, in my opinion. Nobody's ever gonna nobody should disagree with that person. Because again, a lot of people prefer the actor who played the new Freddy Krueger in the remake, but I personally don't care for that actor, which I forget his name. But I really didn't care for him. A lot of people say that, the remake Pennywise is better than the original. Like, no, I personally don't agree with that. Because again, the actor is just not, He's not the same as Tim Curry. Just isn't. In which I don't want to get too much off topic, but I just don't think like it's just like saying the remake, the actor who played in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like saying that he's better than Robert Englund. And I just can't say that. Even though Tim Curry only got to play in one film because they didn't do any other ones while he was still like walking around and all that, like still. They didn't, they would have did like a franchise or something. I think that would have been like really cool to see. So the Nightmare on Elm Street remake followed a basic. Wait up. Oh yeah, Jackie Haley. Huh. That's the guy who played the Freddy Krueger, the remake. Yeah, he's just not really it for me personally. Um, just kind of like let me see. Yeah, the remake Pennywise just doesn't compare to the 19 the original, in my opinion. Which I don't want to get too much off topic, but again, and by the way, that would be a matchup that I would want to see as well. Is Freddy versus Pennywise, which that would be a pretty good matchup. I think Freddy would win because all he would have to do is put Pennywise to sleep. And that's what basically Freddy does. He gets in your dreams and all that shit, and so all you got to really do is put Pennywise to sleep. That's basically it. um. So remake. Hold up. Remake. Oh yeah, his name is Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, I didn't like him as much. I'm personally compared to Tim Curry and all that. No, I'm sorry, I just don't. I'm not really a big fan of the Pennywise, the It movies, like in general. But I did like the original. Like when the remake came out, that's what made me not be really a fan of it. Because it's just not really as. I feel like Tim Curry's like the original was just the best. Which I don't want to get too much off topic off of Nightmare on Elm Street, but I if the fight took place in Dream World, then Pennywise wouldn't stand a chance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, he wouldn't stand a chance against Freddy because Freddy would all he would have to do is put him. I think Pennywise. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Okay, like You know, I just personally I'm not a big fan of the It movies anyhow. Well, until the remake came out, but I'm just not a fan of the remake. I'm just not personally. I mean, the remake's just not. It's just not as good as the original. That's just my opinion on that. Because again, Tim Curry was just the best. I'm sorry. Like it's just sad that what happened to him. Like he can't come back or anything. Like sadly, you know, it's kind of sad because I wanted to see him come back, but sadly he can't because he's got a lot of health issues. He's in a wheelchair and all that. So, but yeah. So Freddy versus Pennywise, right? So Freddy versus Pennywise. Obviously, that's a pretty interesting matchup. In my I think that's pretty interesting. Because again, both of these Pennywise is more of a, I guess, more of a. He's obviously a clown, but he's like a creature as well. So, and obviously Freddy's a demon, so he's. So I think Freddy would have the advantage personally, if I had to be honest. Because again, he all he would have to do is put Pennywise to sleep, and that's basically it. That's how he takes advantage of that. So yeah, just like I'm not a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. The Nightmare on Elm Street remake is just not. It's just not as good as the original. It's not as good as the other ones. With Robert England, in my opinion, like it doesn't match up. It just doesn't. Um, the voice actor, the actor who played Freddy is just not as good, in my opinion. I always prefer Robert England, but sadly, his age can't come back, can't do any stunt work because of his back and whatnot. But yeah, I just don't. I don't know. The remake is just not as good to me. Um, it's just like when people say that the remake, or no, not sorry, excuse me, um, that there's a lot of people out there that say that prefer the remake over the other ones, but I'm not that way. I don't think that way at all. Like some people do. There's people out there that think that way, but I don't think that. I don't think that way at all. Like that's one thing I would never say. I would never say that the remake is better than the original because that's absolutely just that's blasphemy to say. And that's blasphemy to say that the actor that played Freddy or Pennywise, it doesn't matter who it is better than the original actors, the original actor. Like I can't, I just can't be down with that personally. Because again, they wouldn't have played Freddy if it wasn't for Robert Englund, right? The actor wouldn't have played Pennywise if it wasn't for Tim Curry. So, in my opinion, because he's the first one that played him. So I don't know. That's just the way I feel. I just don't think that like the remake, the Freddy Krueger remake, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake is just not. They try to copy the original again, and it just wasn't. Again, I don't like when they do that. When they try to copy. When they try to copy the original one, like I just don't like it. And I've been talking about I don't like when they do that in remakes. When they basically copy the same scenes and whatnot. I've never been a fan of it. Just like it's kind of similar to Scream, right? Like if they were to like the MTV Scream mask, right? And the different voice actor. It's just like changing the voice actor to somebody else, which I already know. And it's like changing the mask, right? To a different look. I would just say they changed, they had a different actor play that, to do the voice for Ghostface, right? And then they changed the mask. Would you be a fan of that? No, I wouldn't be a fan of it because they did that in the TV series, which I know that they were trying to do something different, but again, it's kind of like that. Like I'm not going to say that the Brandon James. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that Brandon James is better than Roger L. Like you know, because he's just not. And that's just my opinion. And a lot of people may be, prefer the opposite. May prefer may prefer the TV, the Brandon James over the original, but may prefer Brandon James over Roger L. Excuse me. Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing. That's why I don't like the fact that I just don't like that they're doing that. Like I don't like when they change the look of like they didn't really change Freddy's look or anything like that. It's just again, it's just the actor. Like I just don't. It's sad that we won't ever get. It's sad that Robert Englund, is getting old now and his age is really taking a toll on him now. But yeah, man, it's just like I just can't take that remake. It's just not good. I can't watch it for that long. I just can't, you know? I mean, I've been a long time, like, I'm not a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street series like that, anyways, but again, I do like it, which is why I'm doing a live stream on it because I never really talk about it as much. And plus, it's something new to talk about. You know, we're not talking about just Scream, which I don't mind talking about Scream because Scream is my favorite franchise. That's basically what the channel is based on. But again, I try to do other like new stuff as well because I talk about horror in general. Like I just talk about like all slashers, really, not just Scream. Like even though I'm not a fan, like what's to say, like even though I'm not a fan of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise like that, I still like them. Still my top five. Even though, yeah, and I still have the box set of it, of course. Just like I had the Child's Play box set, even though I may not, care for that as much either. Like, man, I still like it. I definitely think, I prefer the Freddy Krueger. I prefer the Nightmare on Elm Street films over the Leprechaun films. Same with the Child's Play. Like Child's Play, the Child's Play film, the Child's Play films, are better than the Leprechaun films as well, in my opinion. I just don't really like the Leprechaun films. I've never been like a fan personally, but there's a lot of people that like them. Which I'm not gonna sit here and judge you for what you like. You know, you like what you like, and that's it. It's like with food. People like different food. Somebody may like one thing, and then let's just say if I like pizza or something like that, somebody else may not like pizza at all. Let's just say I like Diet Coke or something. Somebody else is not going to like it either. Like there's going to be people that don't like it. So it's kind of similar with movies. Like people are going to like the same stuff that you do, you know, and I'm not going to like the same things other people do, So it's just like, hey, if you enjoy it, if you enjoy that movie, hey, good. I'm happy that you enjoyed it. I'm not going to sit here and judge you for that. But personally, for me, I don't really enjoy it. Like, it's just not my style of film. It's just weird, personally, because he's just like a creature, and he's a leprechaun, which I have nothing against leprechauns, but it's just I don't think that's the part that I have a problem with. It's just he's a damn creature. That's all it is. Like it's just weird. I just never been a big fan of those films. Because again, what does he do? How does he like necessarily like kill people? How does he like what strength what kind of powers does he have? I don't really know anything about the leprechaun, so I really don't know like what he does. I've only watched the first Leprechaun film, which the first Leprechaun film is probably, arguably, the best. I mean, anybody's gonna. I mean, people are. Of course, the original is always gonna be the best, right? And I enjoyed it. Of course, it was okay, but I never personally watched the other ones. Which the other ones, are um, the other ones are like what is it? Okay, so they had one where he was basically, which I don't want to get too much off topic because again, this is a a Nightmare on Elm Street stream, but again, there was one film that I don't really like, which I mean, hey, it's pretty cool and all, like the setting and all that, and that is the Leprechaun in the Hood, which that one, I mean, hey, that's pretty cool, I guess. But they also had one when he was in space, but I think the one where he was in the hood, I never watched that one, but I've only watched a couple Leprechaun films, but I've just never been a fan of them, I guess. Maybe if I do start watching, maybe I will be more of a fan of it, but like start watching like more of the films, not just one of the films or a couple of the films. Um, but yeah, there's never been a fan, never been a fan of it. That's I think him being in the hood is pretty. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. But oh, how's it going? How's it going, Tatum? How you doing? We're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Can I be your mod? I don't really know how to do that at this time, and plus, I'm not really trying to do that at right now. You're the best. Yeah, you're the best too. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate you. But yeah, we're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. If you want to join in the conversation, and sorry that I can't make you a mod. I just I don't really like know how to make anybody like a mod, and plus I'm not really comfortable making anybody a mod on the channel. Personally, I'm sorry, I'm just not really comfortable. You know, for oh, you got off. You just got off work. Oh, well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm just talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, I'm just talking about Nightmare on Elm Street. And I was actually talking a little bit about the Leprechaun as well, which I don't really like that film. I was talking about, but I don't want to get too much off topic. Maybe I'll watch some of, maybe I'll watch maybe more of the films and maybe I'll enjoy them a lot more. But as of right now, I don't, I've only watched a couple of the films and I just never, I guess, found interest, in them. Scream anniversary is this Wednesday. I'm watching it all day Wednesday and wearing my Billy Loomis shirt. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, isn't it the anniversary of Scream 1996 or that was at Harbor Fright? You heard of it? Oh yeah, Harbor Fright is a horror convention, right? Or is that a Halloween shop or something? Yep, 1996, 27 years ago. Yep, that's crazy. No, I wasn't even born at that. That's crazy. 1996. Yeah, that's almost 30 years. That's crazy. It's a tool shop. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was like a Halloween shop or something because it's called Harbor Fright. But yeah, that's pretty cool. It's okay. I would. I bet. Yeah, I would love to work at a Halloween shop. But yeah, I'm just talking about some Nightmare on Elm Street. If you want to join in the conversation, we're just talking about some Nightmare on Elm Street, talking about the franchise. Now, I know you're probably not a big fan of it. I don't know if you're a fan of it at all. I'm not really a big fan of it, but I wanted to do something different tonight, because I don't really do. We talk about Scream mostly, which Scream, I'm obsessed with that. It's kind of hard to move off of that, but I kind of wanted to do something different. Um, Missy still, what are you thinking of this? Is Stu coming back? I'm not sure if Stu is coming back. At this point, it's just rumors. Um, it's not really confirmed, but I heard that he may come back because the actor Matthew Lillard is actually, I guess, people are saying that he's following the movie studio on Twitter or something like that. So people feel like he's already like in talks with them about it. It's basically like a rumor right now, but yeah, I really hope he does come back because you know I really do hope so. If he doesn't, I'm gonna be disappointed. But what do you think of the idea of Matthew Lillard playing the role of Freddy Krueger? Because I was just talking about with Scott Walker just a little bit ago. Um, I was talking to him about Matthew Lillard possibly playing um, Freddy Krueger because obviously Robert Englund's his age. He's older now and he can't really do as much as he used to. Um, I love the first. Yeah, I love the first one as well. I like all of them, but I think like I'm not like a diehard fan of this franchise necessarily. Um, like I'm not a big fan of this franchise necessarily, but I do like them. Like I like the movies. I have the box set, of course. Um, but I'm not like a diehard fan of it like I am Scream. Like Scream is like my favorite, of course. But I like all slashers in general. That's basically what this channel is. I basically like my channel is based around Scream the most, but I talk about everything. Talk about like all slashers really. Um, Even though I may not be a fan of a certain movie like Child's Play, like I like Child's Play again, but I'm not again a big fan of it. Like I do like it though. I have the box set um of that, and the one movie I never really cared for either, like which is like I was just talking about is the Leprechaun films. I watched the first one. That's about it, and I never watched the other ones because I just never really. I guess I've never really just had any interest in them because I feel like they're just weird, and the Hellraiser films as well. Like I just never had any interest. I mean, I've watched maybe a couple of those films and just never been a fan for some reason. I feel like Pinhead, the character, is more of a. I feel like he's more of a. I feel like he's more of like a Star Wars character. That's what it looks like. To be bad, Matthew Lillard, and that's badass. Yeah, that would be pretty sick. And a diehard Scream change your life, honestly. Yeah, I've been a diehard Scream fan since I can remember. Like I was saying, when Scream first came out, obviously I wasn't born yet, but the reason what got me into Scream so much was when I grew up. I grew up on when Scream 3 like got released, and I watched that film first before I watched the other ones. Weirdly enough, but when I watched that film, I went back and watched the other ones because obviously I wasn't quite born yet when the first one and the second one came out. But I went back and watched, and that's what basically when I became like a fan of it. Um, Watching Scream 4, the way it's made, she would love to do it. It's crazy. She wanted to. Yeah, I'm not really off like I like Jill, but I don't like Charlie. Like I think Charlie is I think Charlie is absolutely just I feel like she's um or he's, excuse me. I feel like he's like just too whiny at times. I just don't really like him personally, but I like Jill. I think Jill is like one of the best for sure. But yeah, I'm not really like again like there's certain movies that I don't like, that I'm not a big fan of, but I do appreciate, And I was just talking about like, and another thing too that I don't really have, which I'm trying, which I need to try to get, is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre box set. Like because I've never been like a fan of like the 1994 one or the ones that came out in the 80s, but I do like the 1978 and the 2003, and also the 2006 one that came out after that, and then also another one, 3D, I believe it was. But that's another one that I really liked, um, which is weird, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, I definitely think that I definitely like. I definitely like that. That franchise. Excuse me. Sorry, I was kind of daydreaming. Um, so yeah, I do like that franchise again, but I don't like the ones that came out in the 80s. Anything like that. The Leatherface, the look of him just looks weird to me. Um, so I like the 1978, 2003, 2006 one, and then the remake, the 3D one that came out in 2013, which that one's a pretty good one. Or the 1974 one, excuse me, that's the original one. Love your background. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just was yeah, I was just thinking about, just talking about, I was thinking of new like backgrounds like for certain topics, like certain movies that we talk about. Like let's say if we talked about Scream or something, my background I'd make it like a ghost face background or something, or something cool. But like when we talk about a certain topic, I usually change the background to whatever movie we talk about. Um, has a story behind that movie. Oh, you're talking about Nightmare or Texas Chainsaw? Yeah, Texas Chainsaw is. I would say it's a pretty good film. It's the most underrated film, I think. But there's a lot of the movies in like the '80s that came out. A lot of people just ain't fans of them just because the look of them, which I completely understand. I completely get it. You know, um, I mean, it would scare you. Oh yeah, yeah, it would for sure. It definitely would. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you're. So you like the original Nightmare on Elm Street? Um, I like it, of course. Of course, I like it. I like the original, but I'm not really like I like all of them really, not just the original one. I'm not like a diehard fan of it though, because again, they're kind of like I don't know, they're just too weird at times. Oh, the OG, yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of movies that I don't really care for. Just like I was saying, um, the Leprechaun. I don't know what. Like again, there's a lot of people that are fans of it, and of course, I don't have a problem with it being a Leprechaun. I just don't really care for it as a film. I just never really cared for it like at all. Never been a fan of it. Um, but of course, there's people out there that do like it. There's a lot of people that are diehard fans of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise as well that collect probably, but I'm definitely not one of those like fans. Like I'm not. It's just not for me. It just isn't for me. Um, I like it. Of course, I'm talking about it tonight because I just wanted to do something new, of course. But I'm not like a die hard fan of it by no means. Like I'm not. Um, it's not. Of course, it's in my. Of course, it's in my top five. Of course, it's in my top five. But I don't really like. I don't know, man. It's just not. It's just not really my type of film, I guess, because it's a possession film. It's not really a possession film, but it's just weird. Oh, we got Steve Mocker in the house. Well, how's it going, man? He's saying hello, Tatum. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to. They said that there was a new. They said that there was a new Nightmare on Elm Street coming out. I heard, anyways. Basically, a new another actor coming back, or another actor obviously going to play Freddy, but I heard that it was going to be basically another sequel to. I guess it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be like. They said. I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but I looked online and Googled it, and it said that it's expected to come out in 2024, supposedly. But I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, so I'm basically the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is it's been gone for, like I said, since 2010, and we've been a lot of people's been wanting another one for quite a while. Like even though I'm not like a big fan of it, I still, again, it's still like a horror movie, and I still like it because it's a slasher. But then again, I'm not more of a ghost face, more of a Halloween and Jason fan, and Leatherface too. But I'm not really into that. Again, I like it, just not a diehard is all. But just wanted to talk about something new, because again, it is in my top five. definitely in my top five for sure. Um, I'm not for reason like there's a lot of reasons why I don't like I don't know like the Leprechaun films. Okay, like maybe I do need to watch more of the films to really get to liking it. But I think it's just the character, the look of the character is just not. I guess just not for me. Um, like the look of Jason or the look of the Leprechaun, it just looks weird as hell. I don't know, just not for me, I guess. I don't have a problem with like the Leprechaun look, but again, he just looks. He's a weird ass character, you know. Like he's like more like he's just like a weird ass creature, some shit like that. Like he's weird. I just don't really like. I'm just not a fan of it. So for sure, I'm more of a Child's Play fan over over that film. But maybe that's because I have to watch more films. I don't know. Tatum, I attack Gale. I killed Dewey. I also attack Gale in Scream 6. Okay, I understand. I'm returning, isn't it? I'm returning. Heck yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait either. I hope he does. I really hope he does. I hope it's not a. Oh, I really hope he does return. You know, a lot of people are thinking that if he does, it's going to be like the the Emperor's Return, where it's just going to be for fan service. But I don't really believe that personally. And again, I don't want to get too much off topic here, but um, I don't believe that necessarily. But I do think. I mean, is fan service really a bad thing? Like, I don't really like. I don't necessarily think it is, but then again, it kind of is because you're basically doing it just for the fans. You're basically doing it just because you think it makes sense, but or you're doing it because the fans want it. You're not doing it because it makes sense. You're doing it because the fans. You're listening too much to the fans, and you're not making it make sense. So that I think that's the problem with. And again, I'm not trying to compare the Emperor. I'm not trying to compare Star Wars to Scream or anything, or I'm not at all. I'm just trying to make an example. Like I'm just saying that um Scream or like Stu's Return kind of reminds people look at Stu's Return as like the Emperor's Return in Star Wars. You know, basically how it didn't really make sense. Like they just brought him back even when he had died. Like when he died the way he did, and he got thrown down. He got like electrocuted too, and he like blew up. He like exploded too. We need this to happen for the Scream franchise, no matter what. She was amazing, and my favorite to kill it. Yeah, for sure. We definitely do need it because again, if it doesn't happen in this film, I don't know if it's going to happen at all. Personally. So yeah, that's basically just like with certain returns. You know, a lot of people just feel like it's going to be just for fan service, which I understand, but I don't necessarily think it's going to be that way at all. You know. Yes, exactly. It's supposed to be like Scream 3. Let's do a prison story. Yep, for sure. I don't think they're necessarily going to do a prison story, but definitely could be pretty interesting for sure. To help out good guys. Yeah. Yeah. And the reason why I don't think they're going to do a prison scene or a prison story is because they basically they basically if they're going to say he was in prison, that means that he didn't kill Dewey then, right? Because then he would have been, he would have been in prison that whole time. So that's why I don't think truly he's in prison. I think he just faked his death, changed his identity or whatever, and yeah, changed his identity and whatnot, and yeah, that's how he did it. But yeah, back on the topic of Nightmare on Elm Street again. So obviously I was talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street crossover or the crossover that they were gonna do. They were gonna do a Friday versus Jason versus Ash. Um, they were gonna do a Friday versus Jason versus Ash film because they had like a comic book or whatever of it, but they never did it because I don't really know why they didn't do it, but a lot of people were also saying that they were going to make a part two of they were going to do a part two of Freddy versus Jason, but they didn't do it because I guess apparently they didn't do it because maybe they just didn't want to. I don't know, but I feel like they should have did it because Freddy didn't die. Man, he was still alive even after Jason cut his head off. Like he was still alive. So I mean, they should have made a part two. I have a weakness about dude. He's holds the I love my dude. Yeah, I love Dewey too, man. He's an icon for sure. He's an OG. Who's Nash? No, Ash. If you don't know who Ash is from the Evil Dead. Um, Ash is from the Evil Dead or whatever. And yeah, I guess him and so Ash is from the Evil Dead. So him and Bruce Campbell, I believe, fought each other. So yeah, yeah. So Ash is from, I believe, Evil Dead, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, how's it going, Craven? How you doing, man? Thank you for popping in. We're just talking about obviously Nightmare on Elm Street here. Obviously, I don't really talk about that franchise a lot, but that's basically what I'm doing. Just talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, along with Tatum here, and obviously Scott Walker. He was in here, and then Stu Mocker was in the chat. Well, yeah, we're just talking about the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, talking about that canceled movie that they were going to do on that Freddy versus Jason versus Ash film that they were supposed to do. Craven's New Nightmare will always be one of my fan Craven films. Oh, without a doubt. Oh yeah, I think that's one of the best, without a doubt. Like that's one of my favorite, um, one of my favorites for sure. Um, that's always going to be like my one of my favorites, and obviously the original Nightmare on Elm Street. But yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that one. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, that one was Wes Craven was actually in that film as well. He actually appeared in that film. He was in the beginning. But yeah, I really love that film. That one was really good. That's a classic there. In the original. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, the original and that one are just the best. Like, especially Wes Craven's Craven's New Nightmare. That one's a classic. I really love that one. That one's probably better than like part 5 and 4, to be honest. I mean, a lot of people don't really like part 5, which I understand. Same with part 2. Which part 2 I didn't really mind. Part 2 is okay, I guess, but it wasn't. I guess it wasn't really. I mean, I definitely liked it. I think it's one of the underrated ones, but I guess a lot of people just didn't really care for. I don't know, like why people don't like it, but I think it's a pretty good sequel, personally. One three, A New Nightmare of my favorite of the franchise. Yeah, and I understand a lot of people. Uh, so like what? So like I feel like part two. I personally like part two as well, but of course that's just me. Of course, there's going to be people out there that don't like it, but I'm just saying like that's just me personally. Like I like it. I think it's a pretty good film, but I would say that's about my list. But I'm gonna say probably the first, number one, two, three, and then probably New Nightmare. Uh, New Nightmare is probably. I probably put New Nightmare before, probably after number. It's kind of difficult because the New Nightmare is definitely a classic, and that may be better than the second one. To be honest with you. Oh, the exploding bird. Oh yeah, that was kind of weird. Um, so yeah, I kind of understand like why people wouldn't really like it, but I honestly enjoyed it. I felt like it was a pretty solid film. Um, but that's just me personally. I know a lot of people may not like. Um, I know a lot of people don't like it, of course, but and don't get me wrong, like I don't know, that's just me personally. Yeah, two had some great moments. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, like it had some great moments. I didn't really mind it. I just think like part five, like they went overboard, especially in part four. Like part three is pretty good, but after part three, it just went like overboard. Kind of got a little weird. But yeah, that new the Nightmare on Elm Street, Craven's New Nightmare was pretty good for sure. 5 and 4 went off the rails. Oh, without a doubt, yeah. I just don't really know what they were thinking. They went crazy in those ones. Like I think that's when they started like getting really weird. Um, After the first three, and then obviously Craven's New Nightmare. That kind of revived all that. I feel like that one's better than 5 and 4, personally. But hey, I do got the box set of the Nightmare on Elm Street films, so I do got. Of course, you gotta like have like all of them. So even though I don't like the fourth one or the fifth one really as much, of course, I still have them because you know trying to collect them. I want to still collect them. Um, Even though I don't really I'm not a fan of the box set, which I talked about that. The Nightmare on Elm Street box set. I feel like Screen Factory needs to start making them because I think the designs, man, they just do such a good job on the designs. West brought the franchise back with New Nightmare for. Oh yeah, for sure. Like the New Nightmare, I think kind of revived it because yeah, part 5 and 4 just didn't like those films got really weird. And then when New Nightmare came out, I kind of like revived. Yeah, rest in peace to. Yeah, I just kind of collect all of it. Like I was talking to Tatum about the Child's Play box set as well. I have all those. I have all the Halloweens, got all the Screams, but I was talking about like how like the Halloween franchise and the Friday the 13th franchise like always gets like the best treatment. Like they don't really get like the box sets aren't as good as like the Friday the 13th, the Halloween, you know. Those are made by the company Scream Factory, which those ones are really nice. Like the designs they have on them, like I feel like the Nightmare, the Scream franchise, deserves that. Like they deserve that kind of that treatment as well. Which I think hopefully they do something like that because man, they just do such a great job with those box sets. Hell yes, he did on his Wes Craven. Oh yeah, I do too. Rest in peace to Wes Craven. Yes. Hashtag for Wes. Yep. Hashtag Rip Wes. Yep. Long live Wes Craven. That's my scene. Scream Factory issued Blu-ray there. Excellent. Oh yeah, just the designs that they have on them, like that Friday the 13th box set. That's that big one with all the movies. That design on there, man. That's absolute just insane. I love it. Same with the Halloween. They have a Halloween one as well, and I sadly couldn't get it because it was sold out. But maybe there'll be a day when I do. But I was talking about like I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street franchise and the Scream franchise deserve that as well. Like I feel like it deserves that treatment as well because same with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. It just seems like the Friday the 13th and the Halloween franchise always get like the best of that. Like they always get like the best looking box sets. Like, but I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street. Maybe it's not. Maybe I'm not like a diehard fan of it, but it's still a classic franchise, and I think it deserves that same treatment personally. Same with Scream. I can't imagine what if they made a Scream box set. I'm watching right now the Scream 4 and plans with 20th anniversary of the 20th. Agreed. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if they do a because I can't imagine like the designs that they would do, especially for the Scream box set, like all the designs that they would have on there. Nothing Screaming laid a plan for 20th and post about it for sure. Oh yeah, we were just talking about it's the 20th anniversary or the 27th anniversary of Scream 1996, which I'll probably be posting about it as well. Shoot, and I might even try to get the 4K. I don't really care about the 4K Blu-ray disc personally, because all it really is basically just updates, the graphics of the movie. But I definitely want to one day hopefully get like the 4K disc. Yep, 27th anniversary. All 6 Scream films, 4K box set would be killer from Scream Factory. Oh my gosh. That's exactly what I'm. Yes. Like just have them all just ultra 4K. Dude, that would be so damn awesome. All the designs, I can't imagine all the designs that they would put on there. Like, I can't imagine that. I just can't imagine it. They do such a great job, like I was saying, with the designs and just the artwork they put on the, on the cover. Like, maybe a day will come, when they do, eventually, when they do, make, hopefully in the future, hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully they do. Because again, that, man, can't imagine the designs again. Yeah, I sure hope so. Because again, and maybe they are waiting until the 7th Scream comes out, because then you'll get like all 7 of them in one box set, and maybe that's what they're doing. But I think that makes a lot of sense for them to wait, until the Scream 7 comes out, because then you'll get all 7 of them, in one box set, in one box. So that makes a lot of sense, I guess. But yeah, um, but yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise are, not a big fan of it, but I do like them. Hey, what's your take on the Freddy vs. Jason film? Congrats on almost reaching 400 subs, bro. Oh yeah, I'm almost getting there, man. Like I don't like. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm trying to keep on doing live streams as much as I can. Keep making content, And I'm glad that you basically are my inspiration. You're the reason why I'm doing, what I'm doing. That's why I keep on doing live streams. Why I keep on, basically why I keep making content, because I want to get to where you're at, and hopefully I do. I think I will. I just got to keep on making videos, keep on doing live streams. I mean, it's not easy or anything like that. It's definitely not easy, but it is fun. It definitely is fun. So I think I will get there. Hopefully, I know it takes a lot of time. It doesn't happen overnight. 400 subs, like 400 subs. I mean, I was never, when I first started this channel, I wasn't even, I think I was only I mean, I reached like 11 or at least like 100 subs. But now I'm almost to 400 now, like already, which is crazy. It's probably because all the videos, I have over 500 videos already, which is crazy. Yes, congrats to you, Ghostface. You got to keep going. Yes, for sure. For sure. I'm going to keep going for sure. I'm not going to stop. Thank you, man. I'm honored, bro. Just keep grinding. Be as consistent as possible. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it may be a little hard, but it's not, certainly pretty fun too, just like doing live streams. I just try to do a lot of them. I do a lot more. It seems like I do a lot more live streams than I do videos nowadays. I do videos, of course, now. Like I do a lot of videos, but I like hanging out, with the community. It's just I think it's fun, and I do make content as well. But of course, I still make content. I make a lot of content. Like I try to do like 5 videos a day. That's what I try to do. Um, and I also try to do a lot of live, like I try to do live streams like every day. Like tomorrow I'm doing another live stream. Um, we're going to be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise. So, and then 2 days after that, on the 18th, I believe, on the 18th, we're going to be talking about like our favorite like holiday films. Just do like a holiday stream or something. So yeah, I try to keep going. Like I try to do streams like almost every day, and try to keep grinding. And that's how you build subscribers too. And I actually got like a couple new subscribers today, so I'm almost to 400. I'm almost there. Um, but yeah, that's basically what I've been try to do live streams every day. And I know that may be going a little overboard, but I think that's I maybe that's why I got so many subscribers already though. Like because I try to be consistent. Nice. Yep. Yep. So tomorrow we're gonna be Eric Bearded Entertainment actually got me doing. He got me thinking about doing a Christmas stream in a couple days on the 18th of December. So I think that is. Let me see what day that is. So the 18th of December is in a couple days. So that's on Tuesday, I believe. Let me look. Um, Monday. So he was the one that um he was the one that inspired me to do a holiday, like a Christmas stream. I wanted to do like a little holiday stream where we talk about our favorite Christmas movies and whatnot. Kind of back off of horror for at least one stream. Um, let's do a little something different because it is almost Christmas. So I'll get you there. Oh, thank you, Tatum. I appreciate it. Seriously, I really do. I appreciate it. Keep it up, man. But most of all, have fun. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm trying to keep it going. Um, it's definitely a lot of fun theorizing and whatnot. It's definitely a lot of fun for sure. Um, especially talking about Scream. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm gonna try to do a little like new stuff on the channel. Like I was saying, like the holiday stream. I think that would be a lot of fun, just talking about Christmas movies and doing something new because it is almost Christmas. So, but yeah, You must check out P2. I've never heard of that. Is that a that's a holiday film, right? I've never watched that before. I've only watched I think I watched Black Christmas, and I think that's basically the only like Christmas horror movie that I've watched. So good, man. Oh man, I'm definitely gonna have to watch it for sure one of these days. Because yeah, there's a lot of movies that I need to watch. Like I need to still watch like Urban Legend, and I definitely will try to watch it for sure. So like what is it about? Is it a horror movie? Is it like horror? Is it like a Christmas horror movie or what? Urban Legend. Oh yeah, I definitely need to watch that one. I don't want to say much. It's a Christmas. Oh, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out for sure. Um, there's a lot of movies out there that I've never watched. Like I've never watched. I think the night before Christmas, I believe it is. Um, I've never watched that. I think I watched Black Christmas, but I've never watched any other. Never watched any other. Never watched P2 or anything like that. So definitely something new on the list to watch. Takes place in the parking garage. Oh wow, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out for sure. I will leave it at that. Going and blind is best. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna have to give it a watch for sure. Um, there's a lot of movies that I haven't watched yet. And I'm trying to watch new stuff. I've actually watched, like I was saying, I think I watched Black Christmas before, but I think that's basically the only one that I've watched, other than obviously the other like the comedy, the Christmas films. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to give it a watch for sure. Um, but yeah, definitely a must watch. But Craven, I actually have a question for you. Like, what do you think about Freddy versus Jason? Like what do you think about that film? Like, because a lot of people don't really like it. It's probably because the stunt double. But like, what's your take on like that film? Because I personally like it. I think we need more crossovers, personally. But what's your take on that? Because there's a lot of people that don't really like crossover films for whatever reason. Um, I think it maybe it's because they don't feel it makes any sense. But obviously, they had a build up towards Freddy versus Jason, so I really don't understand like why people even like hate it personally. I think the only thing that people hate is probably the stunt double, which The stunt double is probably um or the stunt man that played Jason is probably the only problem for people. But I because a lot of people wanted Kane Hodder to play him. Probably that's probably their only problem with it. But that's probably like that's my only problem personally. But it's not a bad film. I think it's a fun film. Who wouldn't want to see two icons fighting each other? And I just want more. I want more of something like that. I was also talking about them, making a part two, which they should have because Freddy didn't die, so would have been cool to get like a rematch. I love Freddy versus Jason, how they're in the water. I loved it. Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was probably one of my favorite scenes as well. The concept is great. I honestly do not remember it well. I need to rewatch it again after all this time to see how I feel about it. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I personally like it. I think it's a well-rounded, film, Um Again, I think the only problem that people have is probably the stunt double, which is very understandable. I understand. I understand like why people may not like that. Maybe they wanted Kane Hodder because Kane Hodder is probably the best Jason. I think a lot of people wanted him, to do the stunt work, and probably a lot of people, And I have a problem. I didn't really care for like the mask either, like the Jason mask, but I mean, all around, other than that, it's a good film. Like I have no problem with it. I think it's a fun film. Yeah, a lot of people just like it was cool that we got Robert Englund, but a lot of people were, wanting to um a lot of people, wanted to see, you know, a lot of people wanted to see, Kane Hodder to be in the film because he was in Jason X, and that, a lot of people just wanted him to be involved. But I think it's more like the look of Jason too. People didn't like. I'm out. Thank you for tonight. I had a great time. Have work at 6 a.m. See you next stream. Bye, Chris. Goodbye, Tatum. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in. Definitely see you on next stream. Yep, yep. Sleep well, Tatum. But yeah, that's definitely my theory on that. Like, I just think a lot of people just didn't really care for the look of Jason as well. Not only the stunt double, but just the look of Jason didn't look. He didn't look like the best, in my opinion. He looked all right, but the hair and the back was just weird to me. I think that's my only problem, personally. Um, I'm about to run too, man. I'm ready to crash. I enjoyed hanging out with you tonight, bro. Yeah, thank you for popping in. I really do appreciate it, man. And definitely probably see you again, on another stream or so. I want to do another collab with you again because we haven't done that in a while. But oh yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, that's what me and you said that at the same time. Yeah, I was about to just say that. Yeah, that'd be fun to come on the channel again sometime. If plan it out. But alrighty, man. Thank you again for popping in. I'm about to get off too because I'm gonna crash probably here. My pleasure, and I have a great weekend. If I don't see you tomorrow night, live stream. Oh, I'll definitely be there. I'll definitely be there. I am doing another live stream at 10:30, but I'll try to make it for sure. So yeah, I'll definitely try to make it. Alrighty. Alrighty, peace out. Appreciate you popping in, and I'll definitely see you in the stream tomorrow. I'll be there. Alrighty. Good night. All right, guys. I think I'm about to hop off of here as well. I'm getting really, really sleepy. Man, I need to relax for tomorrow's stream. Obviously, for tomorrow. Obviously, going to be making more videos, but yeah, I'm kind of getting a little tired as well. I've been on here, I think, since 11 o'clock. Or no, I've been on here since 10:30. Like, holy crap, I've been on here almost 4 hours. That's crazy. But anyways, I think I'm gonna be hopping off of here for tonight. Hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thank you everyone for popping in tonight. Craven, Scott Walker, Tatum, Craven especially. I'm glad that you popped in. I really do appreciate it. But I am gonna hop off of here tomorrow. Be sure to look out for my Friday the 13th stream. We're gonna be talking about the Friday the 13th franchise, and then obviously on Monday we'll be doing the holiday stream, as you guys know. So be on the lookout for that as well. But until tomorrow, guys, good night, everyone.